Hello and welcome. In last tutorial, we built a linear regression model using Qlik Sense. So just to recap quickly, we built this model using regression equation y equal mx plus b. And in this equation, we have built-in function for the slope, and the independent variable x, which is poverty rate, and another built-in function for y-intercept. So using that, we're able to create a predictive model. So using this model, we're able to predict teen birth rate based on the poverty rate. Now that's in Qlik Sense, and if you haven't seen this video, I suggest that you watch that first, since now we're going to use Python to create similar model, and then we'll compare both models for accuracy. In order to make things easier, I have list of references of various libraries that we're going to use, including pandas, that's for data analysis library. So we're going to use NumPy for linear algebra. We're also going to use scikit-learn for linear regression. We're going to use one of the methods from scikit-learn library for linear regression. And lastly, we're going to use matplotlib to plot the graph. So let's get started. So I have Jupyter Notebook running. So we're going to start by importing this libraries first. Then we're going to import NumPy. Then let's import linear model from scikit-learn library. Okay, so these are all the libraries that we need in order to create a linear model in Python. So let's run command. So these libraries are loaded now. So the first step is to create a data frame using pandas in a CSV file that contains two variables, and those are the poverty rate and the teen age birth rate. So let's create that next. So I'm going to create a data frame, and the method is read CSV because the data is in CSV format. And the file name is poverty rate, so it will be enclosed in single quote. Now we have loaded the poverty rate CSV file. So let's just quickly look at the file, and here it is. So it's a two-dimensional file that we've loaded. One is the poverty rate, which is our independent variable, and the birth rate is the dependent variable. So at this point, let's go ahead and plot a chart, a scatter plot chart using this data. So we're going to use the plot method to create a scatter plot chart, and we're going to pass the poverty percent and birth rate as two variables. So we're going to pass the independent variable, which is poverty percent, comma, birth rate 15 to 17. Okay, so these are two variables that we're going to pass to create the scatter plot chart. Now let's label x and y axis. So we're going to label x-axis as poverty percent, and the y-axis is the teenage birth rate. And let's go ahead and plot the chart. Here's the scatter plot that shows poverty rate, which is our independent variable, and the teen birth rate, which is our dependent variable. And as evident from the data, we have a linear model because there's a direct relationship between these two variables. So this indicates that this is a good model for simple linear regression. So next, let's create linear regression object. We're going to use the linear method from scikit-learn. And we're going to create linear regression object. So now let's train our model so that it can predict teenage birth rate, since poverty rate is the independent variable and the teenage birth rate is the dependent variable. So we're going to use fit method. And the first parameter is the independent variable, which is the poverty percent. And the next parameter is the dependent variable, which is the birth rate. And there it is. Our model is ready. So let's go ahead and predict some values. So let's start with the poverty percent of 15. Since that's the value we have here, we have 15% poverty rate, which predicted the teen birth rate of 24.87. So let's go ahead and see how our Python model produces the predictive value for the poverty rate of 15%. So for that, we're going to use predict method. And we're going to pass the independent variable of 15. And there it is, 24.867. And if you compare that with the one that we created in Qlik Sense, there is an exact match. Now to understand this a little better, let's use coefficient, which is the slope, and the intercept values, so that we can construct y equal mx plus b to see how Python came up with this predictive value of 24.867. So first we're going to calculate the coefficient, which is 1.373. Now if you compare that with the Qlik Sense slope, that exactly matches the value 1.373. Now let's calculate y-intercept, which is intercept, and that is 4.267, and that again matches accurately with our Qlik Sense y-intercept value. So simply put, now we're going to calculate the teen poverty rate by using y equal mx plus b equation. In this case, it's going to be m times 15 is our independent variable for poverty percent, plus b, which is the y-intercept. That is 24.867, so that exactly matches with the predictive value that Python calculated, and that model accurately matches with the model that we have in Qlik Sense. So there you go. Now you have a model in Qlik Sense that exactly matches with the Python model that we created. Hope you enjoyed this, and if you liked it, again, don't forget to look at our academy at analyticshub.io, and we hope that you become a member of our academy, since we keep adding incredible amount of content regularly on our site, with one and only one goal is to make you a rockstar Qlik developer. With that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.